I don't think I ever fully grasped how far grief and love can warp your perception, until the morning I woke up to find my father's ashes missing. Also, please subscribe to this channel for more stories. My name's Tessa Bell. I am 29, a graphic designer living in Portland. My dad, Henry, passed away from a sudden heart attack last fall, and it shattered me. We were close, the kind of close that made people say, "You're lucky you had that kind of dad." After he died, I kept his urn on a small table near my reading chair, beside a framed photo of us from my college graduation. It was a little ritual. I'd sit there at night with tea, sometimes talking to him, sometimes just being near. It grounded me. So, when I walked into my living room one Tuesday morning and saw the urn was gone, my brain couldn't register it at first. I thought maybe I'd moved it and forgotten. Maybe the shelf fell. I even checked the bathroom, for God's sake, like I had sleepwalked and relocated it. But it was just gone. No broken windows. No signs of forced entry. Except one thing. The drawer by the door where I kept a spare apartment key for emergencies. It was open. And the key? Gone. That's when my stomach dropped. There were only two people who knew about that key. My landlord, who'd been out of town for weeks, and my ex, Eli. We'd been together for almost 4 years. I met him just after moving to Portland. Charming, tall, a bit reckless in that way that feels exciting at first and terrifying later. We broke up 6 months ago. Too many lies, too much gaslighting. But I hadn't had the energy to change the locks. Stupid, I know. Part of me thought he wouldn't sink lower than he already had. I called him immediately. "Did you come into my apartment?" I demanded, heart pounding. He was silent for a beat. Then he laughed. "Jesus, Tess, you okay? That sounds paranoid as hell." "My dad's urn is missing, Eli." Another pause. "Then, you really think I'd steal ashes? Maybe you misplaced it, or maybe you're just trying to get attention." I stood there, phone shaking in my hand, listening to him paint me as unstable. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just a violation of my space. It was a psychological hit. He wanted to unmoor me. He always had a way of making me question myself. Subtle digs, backhanded compliments, rewriting arguments until I apologized for things he did. But this was warfare. I called the cops. Filed a report. They couldn't do much. No forced entry, no cameras, no witnesses. Just a missing object with no confirmed value. I felt humiliated just trying to explain how important the ashes were. So I did what I always do when the world doesn't believe me. I investigated on my own. I called Marcy, my upstairs neighbor and friend. She's older, retired, a bit of a snoop, but sweet. She said she hadn't seen Eli, but a few nights ago she heard footsteps on my stairs around midnight. Thought it was me. I checked the alley behind my building. Dumpster. Bushes. Nothing. Then I checked Facebook. That's when I found it. Eli had posted a photo of a fireplace mantel with a sleek modern urn, captioned, "Rest easy, old man. Thanks for the lessons." Except Eli's father died years ago. Buried in Michigan. I remember visiting the grave. I zoomed in. The urn. It was mine. Not only had he stolen my father's ashes, he'd claimed them. Publicly. I couldn't breathe. I confronted him in person. I needed to see his face. He met me outside his apartment, arms folded like I was inconveniencing him. "You lost it, Tessa. Seriously, people are worried about you." "Where is my dad, Eli?" I snapped, barely keeping it together. "Where's the urn?" He shrugged. "Maybe you made the whole thing up. Maybe you staged it so people would feel bad for you." My hands curled into fists. I was shaking. He smirked like he was proud of it. "You're insane," I whispered. "Actually sick." But in his arrogance, he slipped. "Look," he said, turning toward the building. "Even if I did take it, which I didn't, you'd never prove it. You don't even have security cameras." But I did. 2 days earlier, I'd installed a Ring camera on my peephole after a break-in scare in the building. I hadn't checked it yet because it auto-uploads to my cloud, which I rarely accessed. I left immediately, went home, pulled up the footage. There he was. 1:43 a.m., hoodie up, unlocking my door with the spare key. He slipped inside, stayed for 6 minutes, then left. Something small in his backpack. I downloaded it. Sent it to the police, again. This time they had enough to investigate, but the cops didn't move fast enough for me. I made a private post to my small Instagram circle, just close friends. I explained what he'd done, included screenshots of his fireplace post and a blurry still of the video. I didn't mention his name directly, but Portland's a small city. Within 2 hours, people knew. His job, graphic design firm downtown, let him go. They couldn't support the behavior implied. His landlord started eviction proceedings for unauthorized activity. And me? I drove to his place, knocked on the door, and told him, You give it back, or I press full charges and publish the entire video with your name on it. He finally crumbled. The next morning the urn was in a box outside my door. No note, no apology. But that wasn't the end. A week later I got a DM from a woman I didn't know. Her name was Lindsay. She said, "Hey, I just left Eli. I think you should know, he kept a box of your photos, and he talked about you like you were obsessed with him. I saw your post. I believe you now. I'm sorry I didn't sooner." He'd been trying to rewrite my story to her, to anyone who would listen, but not anymore. I replaced the urn on the table by the window, got a custom lock for my door, bought a camera for every entrance. I even got a tiny tattoo on my wrist, my dad's initials in his handwriting. So I'll never forget who I'm fighting for. And next time someone tries to erase my truth, they'll learn I don't just survive, I reclaim.